So a lot of interesting conversations have been happening in the basketball world lately, and honestly, sometimes they're happening too fast for me to keep up with in terms of quickly creating content. So today, I wanted to cram 3 major topics into just one video, share my thoughts on them, and hear your guys' thoughts as well. First off is Pat Riley saying that the 2020 championship has an asterisk by it. Originally, he said it, and it sounded like a disservice to the Lakers, but he kind of backed off from it in even more recent comments when he said, "The asterisk is next to the Heat's name, not the Lakers. Their title is legitimate. Our loss has an asterisk to it. The Lakers were the better team, period." In my opinion, that's a nice bit of framing from Riley, but ultimately, you're still making an excuse for your team. I get it. Injuries to Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic really killed any chances you had of winning. But the reality is that injuries are a part of the game, and you can't just put an asterisk by it because key pieces weren't unavailable. If we apply an asterisk to it, then you do realize that you have to give an asterisk to basically half of the NBA's history. I mean, just off the top of my head in recent history, there's 2019 when Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson were injured, there's 2017 when Kawhi Leonard rolled his ankle on Zaza, 2016 when Andrew Bogut missed Game 6 and Game 7, 2015 when Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love were out, 2010 when Kendrick Perkins missed Game 7, 2009 when Kevin Garnett missed the playoffs, and 2008 when Andrew Bynum missed the finals. I could go even further back into history, but you get the point. This is normal, and just because it happened to your team doesn't mean that you get an asterisk. As they say, the best ability is availability. And you know who never misses a playoff game due to an injury? The guy who just beat you, LeBron James. He's 17 seasons into his career and he's 35 years old. He's played a grand total of 260 playoff games in his career, which is the most in NBA history, and he's missed 0 playoff games due to an injury. Being durable, having great health, and maintaining good conditioning is all a part of winning basketball. So again, it's just not a legitimate excuse for an asterisk. The second topic is Shaquille O'Neal throwing shade at Dwight Howard. So immediately after the Lakers won the championship, Dwight posted a video on his Instagram, and he was overjoyed and told his fans that your dreams can come true. Now Shaq was on a podcast since then and said, "I ain't gonna say no names. Sit your butt down. You didn't do nothing. Stop it, frontrunner, bandwagon jumper. Don't be talking like you know, player. Sit your butt down, stop it. If you're a role player, don't be on Instagram like you're a star." Now Shaq did say that he wasn't going to name names specifically, so many people have already written this off as fake news. But who are we kidding? We all know he's talking about Dwight Howard. He's consistently been critical of his game and of his personality for years, and ultimately, this just isn't a good look for Shaq. All I saw from Dwight was a grateful and joyous attitude. He wasn't bragging about his contributions, and he wasn't beating his chest claiming that he was the best center in the game. He was simply happy that he finally got that ring that's been evading him for so long. Calling him a frontrunner and a bandwagon jumper isn't fair to Dwight either. It's not like at the beginning of the year, he had all these teams lined up for him, and he just took the easiest path to a championship. The verdict was out on whether or not he could even be useful in the NBA anymore, or was he just too much of a locker room cancer to be worth signing? So Dwight has every right to be happy and posting on his social media. This was a redemption story for him, not just for him as a player, but also for his character and reputation in the eyes of the public. And sure, Dwight was a role player for the Lakers, but he was also a very significant one to say the least. He came into a center position where the Lakers were desperate. It was either Dwight or Joakim Noah, which should tell you how desperate the Lakers were. Dwight didn't just contribute in the position, but he made it his, and with his defense and rebounding and his valuable minutes, he's already made Laker fans forget that they gave away Ivica Zubac for basically nothing. JaVale McGee was hardly playing any minutes throughout the playoffs, and DeMarcus Cousins never returned to the court for the Lakers. And honestly, it wasn't a big deal, because Dwight did such a good job of holding down the center position. One last point, but does anyone else see the irony of Shaq criticizing Dwight for being a bandwagon jumper? This is coming from a guy who finished out his career as a role player, jumping on Steve Nash's bandwagon in Phoenix, and then LeBron James's bandwagon in Cleveland, and then the Big Three's bandwagon in Boston. The only significant difference in those situations is that Dwight Howard's team actually won the championship. So overall, I love Shaq, but he was way out of line here, as his comments about Dwight were not only disrespectful, but I would even go as far as saying hypocritical. Let me know in the comments section what you think about all of these hot topics. Is there an asterisk on the 2020 championship? Is Shaq wrong to criticize Dwight? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.